Fortnite Chapter 6 is massive. There's 18 new POIs, 7 mythics, Oni masks, bosses, the Great Turtle, and this no dancing sign. But if you do, the game trolls you. Here is everything you need to know about Fortnite Chapter 6. We'll land at the Demon Arena to be greeted by a 15-foot tall enemy with a ton of health. This is Shogun X, a huge boss that'll literally teleport around, shoot you with Oni projectiles, and slice you with his katana. He has a ridiculous amount of health. I mean, I shot this guy non-stop with a mythic AR, and it still took like 5 minutes to kill him. But your reward is insanely worth it. Congratulations on the most overpowered items in Chapter 6. You'll earn his mythic Oni mask, which sends aimbot explosives towards enemies. Not only will this overwhelm them, but then you can pair it with his mythic Typhoon Blade. It's a brand new melee weapon for Chapter 6, even crazier than the kinetic blade ever was. The Typhoon comes in epic versions too, which you can pick up from chests or blade stands, and it'll give you better sprint and a super jump dash. On your swing attack, it could be spammed to do an insane amount of damage, or you can do a powerful slash to knock back enemies and destroy them. If you attack while dashing through the air, it'll crash land for a massive damage boost, and all of this is even crazier when you pair it with Shogun X's other item, the Medallion. It's one of the only medallions on the map right now, and this gives you infinite stamina. Not to mention, while sprinting, you'll turn semi-invisible to help you get away or sneak up on your enemies. Pairing this stamina with the Typhoon Blade turns you into the most powerful warrior on the entire map, making that painful boss fight so worth it. But avert your eyes to the huge snowy volcano biome, where at the center of this reservoir, you'll see Demon's Dojo. It is one of the only other POIs on the map with a medallion waiting for you, and this mountaintop sanctuary is home of the Night Rose and her spirit henchmen. You walk around protecting her with katanas, and honestly the henchmen alone are straight up terrifying. But if you get to Night Rose, her fight is crazy. For wiping her out, you'll get a mythic version of the Veiled Precision SMG. This has a scope and a suppressor and is super accurate. It also has high damage fall off, and let me say this gun is a ridiculous SMG. As for Night Rose's other items, she'll give you a medallion which automatically reloads your weapons even while you're shooting it. Not to mention, you'll get the mythic Void Oni mask, one of the coolest items ever seen in Fortnite. This Oni mask has 50 charges compared to the base one, and it's a new item that'll let you teleport around the map. Just shoot to throw a portal, and wherever it lands, you can press your other button to head directly to it. This also doesn't give you fall damage, so you can teleport anywhere in the sky, but it's just one of the many Oni masks in Chapter 6. This next one is the Fire Mask, which shoots flames at enemies, dealing 100 damage, although sadly, it doesn't set builds on fire. It's super slow, and fans all agree this is probably the worst of the bunch, even though it aimbots. If you want it to be useful, you'll need the Shogun X mythic version of this. One of the most underrated parts of Chapter 6 is the brand new movement mechanics. Fortnite has added 4 new features that'll change the way we run around. Firstly, there's ledge jumping. This will let you cover more distance when you sprint jump from a ledge. Then we have wall scrambling, letting you use momentum to get over insanely high walls, saving you from wasted mats. Of course, there's now wall kicking, which basically enables us to jump vertically up builds. And then my favorite of all, roll landing. You can officially jump just before you land to do a barrel roll, breaking your fall damage and regaining a little bit of stamina. Now, that doesn't mean fall damage is gone forever. It still hurts you, just not as much by rolling. And let's talk about the changes to shooting, which have fans going crazy. Hit scan is finally back in Fortnite. Bullet drop has been removed and replaced with the classic bloom we've known all of these years. It's gonna make guns feel way more intuitive and just like the old days, which fans have been begging to see return. I gotta admit, Chapter 6 feels incredible to play thanks to this update. We can't forget about some of Fortnite's hidden characters roaming the map. There are plenty of secrets that only appear at certain locations, like the Great Turtle. This guy is adorable and has a launch pad on his head, a shrine on his back, and he's defended by an NPC that'll absolutely destroy you if you attack him. If you're wondering what a shrine is, I'll get to that in a second, because the turtle appears in different locations every single match. It's just like the other secret character of Chapter 6, the Demon Warrior. He'll walk out of a portal at multiple locations, and it's super intimidating. Now, it's not that tough of a battle. You can wipe him and his henchmen out pretty easily, or let the storm do it for you, and when you go to collect the reward, it is a guaranteed void mask and at least one purple or gold weapon. Moving on, now let's talk about shrines. These are scattered around the map. You can spot them from a white light in the sky. Here they'll mark all nearby creatures known as sprites. They're adorable little guys who are just minding their own business and walking around, and if you pick them up, you can throw them down for different abilities. The water sprite will heal you and your teammates like a shield keg, and you get 3 charges of this. Then there's the air sprite, which can be thrown down to create a launch pad. This also has 3 charges, but once you've left, good luck getting it back, especially if other teammates use it to chase you. Then we have a special version, the earth sprite. These can't be picked up, and there's only 2 of them per match, but if you get to them first, you could feed it one of your items, and in return, you'll be rewarded with consumables or even a legendary weapon. They are very hard to come by, so don't ignore them if you spot one. Now, sprites serve another purpose once you pick them up. You can carry these back to the shrines, and it'll play an amazing animation. Now you have a boon. The one you get depends on the sprite you delivered. You can earn these from shrines or elemental chests. The air boon is an ability that lets you run faster while your pickaxe is equipped. Then the fire boon gives you faster reloads, which is super useful, along with the water boon that regenerates your team's health while swimming. Personally, I love the void boon that'll scan the area for other players when you get knocked. And yes, you can carry all 4 of these items at once, but they're not like medallions. You can't drop them ever or give them to teammates, so make sure you are 100% about picking them up. Perhaps the longest awaited improvement that Epic's delivered with Chapter 6 is a huge buff to the train. Not only has this thing got a complete redesign, but it's also focused on the center of the map. Before, this thing always just took you straight into the storm, but now it's actually useful all game. That's not even the biggest change, because it now drops a mythic. The first time the cache is hacked, each match will drop the mythic version of the Hollow Twister AR, the only way to get it. Whether you've got the mythic or a normal variant, this AR has a permanent hollow scope attached with a 1.3 times zoom. This thing is basically the new heavy AR with a slow fire rate in exchange for higher damage. I mean, hey, maybe that's not your thing? Well, there's still a fast-firing AR, the Fury Assault Rifle. It's a pretty standard one like we've seen before, but maybe you'd like the Surge Fire SMG. Well, see for yourself how crazy this gets if you have enough ammo. This season's Battle Pass is also pretty nuts. There are tons of samurai-themed characters, from Nyanja, who you get immediately, to Jade. Kendo is one of our main characters alongside Shadowblade Hope. Then we have Dago, the man of 1,000 faces, and Night Rose, who you met earlier while fighting her on the map. The collabs are just as surprising. Not only is Baymax taking up a whole section of the pass, the secret outfit is the one and only Godzilla. Somehow they managed to fit this guy into his skin, and it actually works. He'll be unlocked in January. If you're trying to figure out what rewards to redeem first, you don't have to pick. There's a new auto-claim feature that'll unlock your Battle Pass items for you as you level up. One other thing, the levels aren't even tied to the pass anymore. You could buy tiers and it wouldn't level up your Fortnite character, all because these reflect your XP from all 3 battle passes now. Therefore, our levels don't show our pass completion. It's just how much XP we've earned. Now, how can I level it up quickly? Well, check out the brand new expertise quests. These are really difficult that'll progress you throughout the season, getting eliminations, damage, and more. As you complete them, you'll get a bunch of XP and slowly work your way towards NPC sales. When you fully complete an expert weapon category, NPCs around the map will now sell you a legendary version instead, which was previously locked. Basically, make sure to work on these as soon as possible to make the most of them. The more quests you complete, the bigger the gold discount. It's perfect to bag yourself a legendary version of the brand new pump. The Sentinel shotgun is your go-to if you're a fan of the classic pump style shotguns we've had in VR for the last couple years. Now, it's still not a 200 pump, unfortunately, hitting for just 195 with a legendary one, but if you're lucky enough to find a mythic enhanced variant, you'll hit for exactly 200. If you're a bigger fan of auto shotguns, the Twin Fire is the brand new fast firing version, and it's basically the drum except a little slower, and this one fires in burst shots of 2 at a time instead of just 1. Now, this thing is actually pretty powerful, so the weakness is the insanely long reload time. It's also not great at range, unlike the Oni shotgun. This long barrel weapon can only store 2 shells at a time, so you gotta make use of the shots you have. If you remember the Ranger shotgun from Chapter 3, it is basically the same idea, but with an extra shot. Not the only familiar return in Chapter 6, because running around the map, you'll also come across the Rogue Bike from Chapter 4. It's the exact same as before with a speed boost, drift slide, even the ability to do wheelies. Now just remember, this thing is only good on road. Take it on grass or dirt and you're gonna lose a lot of speed and handling. Instead, use the dirt bike for off-roading or check out the new Voidburn car. This is a sports car with a fresh design for Chapter 6, and I'm also happy to say that SUVs are back. Now, one of the best secret features is hiding in the settings. It's called Simple Edit. This will now change your edits to work based on what part of the build you're looking at, rather than drawing what you want manually. It makes selecting tiles useless and easier than ever, which fans are loving. Don't forget to use code T5G if you want to support videos just like this one. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.